Hello and welcome to season 2 of Own Your Divine Light Show. My name is Janet Miller and I'm excited and honored to welcome Shareane Baff. Shareane is a BTB Feng Shui Master's training graduate. Shareane had the privilege to study under Grandmasters Li Yin, right?
Lin Yun.
Li Yun, the first Chinese master to bring Feng Shui to the Western world. I thought that was fascinating. Shareane specializes in interior alignment, plans for new construction, remodeling, space clearing, redefining children's spaces and relationship Feng Shui as well, along with consulting and lecturing for large companies such as IBM, Case University, and more. Shareane has worked many other spas and businesses. And besides Feng Shui, Shareane also creates the most amazing crystal bracelets for her company called Intentions Jewelry. Shareane and her daughter, Adrienne, create the bracelets. The purpose of the bracelets is to rekindle the power of women and the love of women. The bracelets are here to change the destiny of children now and in the future. And I love that. That's a beautiful thing. And we'll talk more about that. And the bracelets are here to heal wounds between all of us, all the sexes, the nations, the races. The bracelets are here to bring in more light and restore balance, to change the course of the future and destiny of us all, to bring forth miracles and to be a gentle and persistent force. You wear a bracelet to connect you to source and keep you connected. And you can also wear them because they give you pleasure. Welcome, Shareane. It is such an honor to have you here. I am so
Thank
excited.
you, Janet. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh my goodness, your work is incredible. I mean, it's the bracelets. I mean, I'm going to show everybody. Here I am with my bracelets that are absolutely stunning. I've collected them for over 15 years, and this last year I got a few extra. And I have a moonstone that Shareane makes, and they're just stunning. And Shareane is so gifted, and so is her daughter. The two of them work together, and it's just an amazing thing. So you're a master in two areas: the Feng Shui and then the Intentions Jewelry. How are these two gifts of yours connected, or how or are they connected?
They're definitely connected. I started to study feng shui because I was selling real estate at the time. And I
Mm,
didn't understand why certain customers wouldn't buy certain houses, what was going on. And so I started to study feng shui and I realized, oh, there may be too many steps up to the front porch. There may be a drop off in the back. So when you're working with an Asian client, they won't buy the house and they don't tell you why. So
mm,
everything is kept very close to the vest. They don't say that, and so I wanted to know what they were thinking. So I started to study, and I was really really good at it. And my first teacher was Melanie Lindowski, who was also trained by Professor Lin Yun, and she wanted us to see the dead people around the other students in the class. That was the first exercise, and I was really good at it.
wow.
Some things kind of just come naturally, and I really didn't believe in it or think it was valid. And so I went home and I changed everything in my house, which my teacher told me not to do,
Oh,
and everything changed. And my husband lost his job within a week. And when I told him, honey, it was because I did this feng shui thing, and he laughed. And and then I had to find the answers to correct what I had done to change the energy of the house and what was coming at us now. And there were only two books written in English at the time, and no way of getting that information. So I did meditation every day, and the answers would come in meditation.
wow.
Uh, and then I studied feng shui and was very good at it, had lots of clients, and their lives changed, whether it was that they wanted a certain job or they wanted to earn more money or they wanted a baby or, whatever their dream is. Um, and I would make them bracelets and give them a bracelet uh, because we use crystal to set intentions.
Mm.
and it brings a higher energy. It brings your vibration up, and when your vibration is higher, you get more of what you want. It's that law of attraction. So when you raise your vibration, now you're getting things coming at you that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Mm,
And I would give them a bracelet,
wow.
and I wasn't selling them, and everybody wanted bracelets. Everybody wanted bracelets. They would, if I was going to the supermarket, people would come up and want to buy my necklace or buy my bracelet, and they wouldn't leave until I did that.
Wow.
I had a friend who weighed 275 pounds, and I made her two white bracelets. White is the color of speaking your mind and also having backbone and losing weight.
Mm,
So she went from 275 pounds, she went down to 145. So her life changed dramatically. And I came to her house one day, and she said to me, "You need to make these bracelets for everyone." And I said, "No, I don't. I do feng shui. I do, and that's what I love to do. And I was really good at it. And I had so many clients, I couldn't handle them all." And I came to her door, and she handed me $10,000 worth of crystal from Swansea and said to me, "Now you have to." That's how I got to my business.
that's
And
incredible.
yep. And then I went to my daughter and I said, and her baby was little, and I said, "Listen, honey, go, we can go to flea markets, we can sell these, and then we'll have a nice day, and
Mhm.
you'll have a babysitter, you'll get some time off." And that's how we started.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know I met your bracelets at least 15 years ago, and my girlfriend actually found them, and I went over and I was like, wow, these are gorgeous. And then I met I can't remember her name now. She's one of your readers. She's really funny. She has one of your collections, the Sedona collection.
Dorinda. Dorinda.
Dorinda, yeah, I know her name. It's unique, and Dorinda, and she
Yeah,
sold me my Sekhmet, which is this one, and I had to have Sekhmet. I said, "This is it." What
I made Sekhmet for her. She requested that energy.
is
And
that? Right?
it took me a while to be able to get the right energy and the right mantras to bring the bracelet through, to bring that energy into the bracelet. And she absolutely loved that bracelet. And of course, it goes with Isis because they're best friends.
Oh yes, and I have my Isis right here. So
Yeah,
people who
wearing
want to
Isis
know
today
these.
too.
Yes, and they're just incredible. They were my first two bracelets. I think those were my first two. And I had first Sekhmet, and then I got Isis. She said, "Well, you're not ready for Isis." And then when I was ready, I'd meet Dorinda again. She was always here for about 3 or 4 years in Connecticut doing shows. And
Yeah.
I would go and she'd go, "Janet, all right, you're ready for her now." And I love that. So how did you get into the reading and knowing about the energy of the bracelets? How did that all come through? Like, how did you know how to do all that?
When I studied feng shui, um, what our teacher taught us was to be still. And when you're still, you can see things that other people can't see because we only see maybe 4% of what's really going on around us.
Hmm.
And when you walk into someone's house, you don't walk in as yourself and use your own energy because then you get depleted. So you move your energy aside and you let another energy in. And the first goddess I ever worked with was Kuan Yin because she is non-judgmental. So when you walk into someone's house, you don't want to have a judgment like, "Oh my God, how could they paint that room this color?" Or, "I know that your husband is beating you up and that's not okay with me." You can't be like that. You can't have any judgment. So if you bring Kuan Yin in or Buddha in,
Here she is.
with
Here's my
enlightenment,
queen. I love her. I got the new one with the new colors you said. There was
uh,
another color. Yeah, I love these. But go
her,
ahead. Talking. I'm sorry.
her colors.
What is it?
It's the new one has the happy colors.
Yes.
Will need more happiness. Um, so I learned to bring another energy into my body. And then when I hold the crystal and I perform certain mantras, I can transfer that energy in. And usually I do it when I'm dancing. So
Mm.
I have a whole ritual that I do and a certain time that I connect every day.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, it's consistency, and then once the energy is in the bracelet, it goes on Mother Earth crystals, which I'm going to say I probably have about $100,000 worth of crystal of Mother Earth rocks in our bracelet room, and they all have agreed to put energy into the bracelets. I studied with a Native American shaman, and she said, I don't want you to read anything, I want you to speak to them. And the same thing with the feng shui. Don't, there was nothing to read. You just had to kind of get it on your own. So
Mhm.
lots of books and lots of people educating. So it's maybe a little bit easier. The information.
You were just so natural. And how did you know how to go to that shaman? How did you know how to go to her?
Um, I think I saw an ad
Real.
that's going to be at a center in Chappaqua, and I so I signed up for the class for that Native American shaman, and the first thing she says is, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Well, because I want to know what the rocks are about, the crystals are about." And she said, "Well, can you speak rock?" And I said, "No." She goes, "Well, then you better learn."
I love that. I love
So it
that.
be still.
Yeah.
Every culture has a similarity. It's about quieting yourself and being with the energy, the rocks, with nature, with trees. When I studied feng shui, we spent 3 days talking to trees. You put your head next to the tree and you listen to what it's saying and what's the energy that it's giving you. So it, it it is really magical, very
Mm,
magical.
mhm.
But you have to give yourself the time to do it. And so many people are, rushing around that they don't have the time. Are you still there?
Oh, yeah. What
Oh,
happened? I
oh,
see
okay.
you.
The back of my computer, you know, got,
You're okay.
yeah. Um, so I had always spoken to angels as far back as I could remember from when I was 8 years old. So I always spoke to them and I saw them.
Wow.
So then this was just adding on to what was already happening for me. And many of us can see and hear and feel, but our lives are not dedicated to working with them. And that's exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Mhm.
We come with certain missions.
This is true. So you were 8 years old when you first saw your first angels.
Yes.
How did that
And
happen?
I was, a man tried to rape me when I was 8 years old.
Oh boy.
I was living in Brooklyn. I was waiting for my mom outside the building, and a man came, and I was frightened of him. And I ran into the house, ran into the apartment building, and he followed me. And he had a knife, and he brought me down to the mail room, and he was about to do what he wanted to do. And uh, I called out to my angels, who at that time I had never seen that I could remember, and to God, and I said, "Help me, help me, help me, stop him now." And with that, the front door to the building opened up, and he ran out the back door, and I ran out the front door.
Wow.
And a woman who I thought was a nurse was walking down the street. It was January in Brooklyn, it was cold, and she was all in white. And she brought me to the library around the corner, and they called the police. And nobody ever saw her again, and nobody got her name or anything like that. Um, but a couple of weeks after that, I saw this man again, and I told a neighbor. They called the police. He was arrested, and for 2 years we went to trial. And it was very scary going to trial. And
Hmm.
I didn't want to look at him when I was on the witness chair. And so an angel would come and stand in front of him.
Really?
walk me down to on one on each side, walk me down um, to the seat that I was sitting in. And what I saw was that there was an angel in front of him to block my view of him, but there was an angel holding him and hugging him and caressing him because God does not forsake any of us.
Right.
And so I learned about forgiveness. Unfortunately, he wasn't convicted. Uh,
Really.
and I thought I was doing my civic duty and stopping him from harming any other person. And that became a major thing in my life to be of service.
Mm.
Um, and so it was a bad thing that turned into a very good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of us just learn our lessons in a difficult, it might be a difficult way, but it certainly was fast, you know. And so my angels were with me all the time, and I wasn't scared, So it allowed me to live my life because I knew I was totally protected with them.
Wow. And you could always see them.
Yes.
Do you know who they were? Did they tell you their names?
I don't remember who they were.
Yeah. Just
Um,
curious.
it wasn't important to
Mm-hmm.
me
Mm-hmm.
um, to know their name.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know why, but I know my grandson, my youngest grandson, he's very much can read energy and do healing work naturally. He's incredible. And I remember opening the front door to my house one day and he said, Ralphie, Ralphie, hi. And he meant Archangel Raphael.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I love that. Oh, that is such a gift. And your whole family seems to have that. So you have a real angelic connection here.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. You have
Both
a
daughters can see and feel and hear, and my husband too.
really.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
you must be from an angelic lineage. That's all I'm getting.
Well, I went to a class once, and my grandfather, who's dead, was waiting to give a speech to the class. So the teacher said, and he said that they had been waiting for me a long time and that I came from a line of shamans. So
Uh,
then he proceeded to talk through the teacher voice and
really?
voice and teach the class. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of cool things.
Yes, you have. That is fascinating. That is fascinating. That's wonderful. And because you just totally because of everything that happened, you're a total believer, and there's no doubt, and there's no
No doubt, no doubt
never.
at all. And many children could read and see, but they have a sense that they're not supposed to say it. And now that you have a grandson
Mhm.
who's little, but you can watch because as people come by him, you can watch his eyes go up and he'll be staring and you'll see that he can get engaged with. You might not be able to see who he's talking to.
I was noticing that just yesterday when he was here. I knew about that, and I know that the children at his age, he's 8 weeks old, can see the angels around them still. They
Yeah,
still have
yeah,
that connection. And
yeah,
I was watching him smiling and just looking around and just like smiling away. Sometimes he'd look right at me and smile, but sometimes he'd be looking over my head and smiling. And I would be like, wow, he is so connecting, because I am very aware of that. Yeah. And I thought it was just beautiful to watch him. I loved it. Oh, so precious. So you created the bracelets, and and people have gotten amazing results from them.
yes. And some of what you read about why
What
you
they do.
bracelet,
Mhm.
all of those things were written by people that have the bracelets. Some of them are channels themselves. And the amazing thing about the bracelet is when you try it on, most people will feel the energy shoot up in their hand. Now, I'm not bringing anybody through. Those are the beings that are around you. And most of us have at least 20 beings around us at any given time. And some of them are closer to us and some of them are further back. Not to say that they're not one of your guides, they are, but you don't need them right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be further away, and the other guides are closer to you. And they'll kind of show me, like, hey, I need to work with that person. And so then I will get sometimes from them, I hear it, sometimes I sense it, sometimes they'll give me a picture, why they need to work with you. But we're never alone, ever.
It's a beautiful thought, and I've heard that so many times. So you're just validating that
Yeah,
everyone listening, you have at least 20 angels around you, or beings of light, whatever you want to call
yeah,
them, that are here to help you. And how beautiful is that, to know that we're never alone? And you've heard that many times through
yeah.
religion and all, but yet you're telling us exactly that we're never alone.
Well, you have at least two guardian angels that are assigned to you at birth, and they never leave you, ever,
Mm.
for any reason. They will be with you from this entire life. So, but it depends. If you're not communicating with them, they get bored and they're kind of standing there twiddling their thumbs, in a sense. They would like you to ask for their help, for their
Mhm,
assistance.
mhm,
And then
mhm.
you have two archangels that are assigned to you. And very often, when we are attracted to certain people, it's because we share an archangel with that person. So, for example, my husband and I, both of us are guided by Archangel Uriel. And then my other archangel is Michael, and his is Raphael. But we are vibing on that line of Archangel Uriel.
Wow. I,
So,
I always thought I had Archangel Gabriel was always in my mind, and I think I heard once that he lifted me at birth. He was right here present at birth, or she. It's an androgynous being, and I always think of Gabriel. Gabriel's one of my
oh,
top.
Gabriel really does bring out communication.
Mm,
It helps people to be out in the world in a bigger way and have a lot of people listening to them. So I would say you're probably right. Because
wow, that's amazing.
this is what you do for a living, is speak to people and communicate to thousands of people at a time.
Wow, that's so
So
beautiful.
that, yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if my husband and I shared Gabriel Gabriel, because he is a communicator too. He's a big
Uh,
communicator. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. I love that. I love hearing that, because I was never aware of that. That's
and too, Gabriel helps heal your third, fourth, and fifth chakra. And
mm,
third chakra is where you take on stuff for a lot of people. So
mm.
I would imagine that that's what you do.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
kind of
I've been told that. I've been told that.
and
One
so
reading, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
um, because they know that we have certain I don't want to say weaknesses, but certain things that we need to assistance for.
Hmm.
So if you're one of those people, Gabriel a lot of times will be your guide so that you can get through that, and also to help you receive love, because a lot of times we give more love than we let back in. So it's about, balancing that. And then when we have that, we're much better communicators. People could hear us
Ah, that
because
makes so much
we have
sense.
more to give. When we receive more, we have more to give.
Oh, so true. And I say that a lot myself. When we are, yes, yes, you can't, and you have to love yourself first to be able to give it out to others. And
Absolutely.
that's practically a mantra of mine. Because I had to learn that myself, because until you learn it yourself, you can't help anyone else. And so that was one of my big lessons, is don't give it all. You can give it all, you can give it away, but as long as you take some for you, you have
Exactly.
more to give, and it works so much nicer, because everyone's happier. You're happier, they're
And
happy.
that's why you have certain archangels, because you came with this lesson to learn. And so you're going to be given that teacher that can assist you and get you through it, and moving upward.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
powerful. I've never heard anyone talk like that about the archangels. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's unique.
And Adrian, my daughter, who you met,
Yeah.
um, her main archangel is Gabriel.
Really?
Yes, yes. And people who have Gabriel as their archangel are usually very highly intuitive. They get the messages and they share the messages.
Ah.
Yeah.
I know when I do my healing work, I have so many messages, and I always share so much of that with people, and they're like, "Wow, how do you get all that?" I'm like, "I don't know, it just keeps coming in, and I'm just telling you what I'm getting, and I'm
Yeah.
not going to deny you what I'm getting because you need to know, you know." So that's wonderful. That's great to hear. It's good stuff. So, geez, so the bracelets are so powerful. They've helped people so much. So, how do you think they're affecting the collective consciousness now? And how do you see mass consciousness? You know what I mean? The people
Yeah.
going on.
Yes. And there is a collective
Oh,
consciousness.
yes.
Um, I was given this task, although I was making the bracelets, I was making them for very few people, just people that were having feng shui. Um, so about 20 years, 21 years ago, a guide named Thoth, or Thoth, as some
Uh,
people pronounce it, he came to me. And he likes to come when people are chanting, and I was chanting, which I do for the bracelets. And he came to me and he said, uh, "We need your assistance. Um, we know what's going to happen in the world. We know that Mother Earth is really going to be all right, but you are destroying yourselves
hmm.
as a people. You're destroying, and we need women and men who are aligned with women to feel good about themselves and not be in survival and feel fulfilled, because once they feel fulfilled, they can bring peace to the world, and we're going to really need this." So um, he said, I was making the bracelets, but he said, "I want you to put more energy in. I want you to put more messages in for people." And of course I said, "No, I'm not doing it." Uh,
And why did you say no? Have you changed your mind?
oh, of course, of course.
I know. We always say no first. It's like,
What
it's
I was doing, and I didn't want to be a salesperson. I was doing feng shui, and I was going to people's homes, and I was changing their lives by changing how they arrange things in their life, or changing the energy, realizing what was going on for them. Um, and so absolutely loved what I was doing, and I was really good at it. Uh,
mhm.
so to be a salesperson, I made a deal with them. I said, "Well, I am not going to go out and hawk and try to get customers. You have to bring them to me, and and then I will do my work with them." And that's what they did.
Which
And
is wonderful.
yeah. And I had said that, okay, I will do this for 10 years, and then, I need to go back to what I'm doing, my feng shui. But the end of the 10 years came and they renewed my contract. So now,
Wow.
now I'm so happy uh, for what I'm doing. And what they said is, when you do a feng shui, you reach one person or family. When you do the bracelets, you reach thousands, hundreds, thousands of people. And the peace is very important. I mean, we all know, the world is in turmoil, and there's so much sorrow and grief and anger, and they, being the guides, are calling their tribe together. And generally, the people who hailed from Atlantis or Lemuria are the ones who are attracted to the bracelets.
Totally.
We
Yeah.
know where you are.
Yeah.
And we,
Atlantis and then Lemuria. Lemuria's come calling this year for me big time. I've always had Atlantis, but now it's Lemuria calling.
yes,
And
yes, it,
it's
yes, Lemuria is really making its presence known more. And so I have never done any advertising at all. Everything is word of mouth, and there's over 70,000 bracelets out there.
I believe that. I mean, I alone own 8, so that just shows you. And then it's just because they're so powerful, and we just know. And when we wear this, we're also radiating that energy around other people, aren't we? Isn't this going out to the people around us? So it's like spreading like the pebble in the pond. It's like spreading it out to the
Uh,
people.
yeah, when you wear a bracelet on your left wrist, that's what you need to get directly. That energy is coming to you directly. And what you put on your right wrist, that's the energy you want to send out to other people. So
Mm-hmm.
you will get it back, but it'll be indirect.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's a general. Uh,
Sure.
in general, that's it. Or sometimes people can't handle, like Sekhmet is a very strong energy. She's a physician and she only knows one speed: fast and furious and forward. So
My kind of girl.
if you go at that speed, then you can't wear her. And Isis is kind of pushy and demanding and loving and wonderful, and heals grief and brings love and heals karmic issues. But she doesn't allow you to sit on your rump.
Mm.
She's get up and do what you said you're gonna do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah.
But I
So
need that. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
it definitely is. She's one of my critical guides, meaning that I really need her because she gives me so much information and so much energy to keep doing what I'm doing. And sometimes we do very big expos, and there can be 5,000 people in an expo, and even 10,000 people. Not that everyone's talking to us, but that energy that's around, and then being able to decipher the energy of the people that are in front of us. It's
Mm.
a lot of energy, and Isis really um, pushes you to have that, to get that energy. Um, and that's really how I met Dorinda, because Isis was talking to her about the bracelets and she was cracking up. And I said to her, "You see what I see?" And she said, "Yes." And I couldn't, it was hard to believe because I had never met anybody that saw what I saw. So we became fast friends.
Oh yeah.
Laugh a lot because we see a different scenario than basically what most people were seeing.
I can imagine. I loved her when I first met her. I said, "Oh my goodness, a unique, wonderful soul," and just so fun. Yeah, so fun.
Yes, yes. And she does transmissions from um, Sedona, in which you call her on the phone and she sends you the energy, and you don't, and she's not uttering a word, and it's so incredible.
Wow.
Your life shifts. She takes that energy from the mountains in Sedona, and just like I do the different guides and put it into the jewelry, she takes that energy and transfers it to you through the ethers.
Wow. Yes. And I love Sedona. I've been there a number of times. And I know she has a collection through you with the
Yeah,
Sedona bracelets, right?
yeah,
She has a Sedona collection.
yes, yes.
And that,
And she takes them to Sedona and finishes them off on the rocks where they lay in the sun on the rocks. And she created a portal in my house for that energy to come into the bracelets as well. I know that some of this conversation might sound like really weird if you have not heard this kind of conversation, but for us that do this all the time, it's like our ordinary speech, like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to the supermarket to get a head of lettuce."
exactly. I love it. This is my kind of speaking. And just for people out there listening, they need to hear everything, because if they're tuning in, they know that there's so much they want to know, and they're tuning in because they need to hear it, because there's so much more that we need to be aware of and know
Yeah.
that there's around us. Just talking about the angels and all your guides is such a wonderful knowledge to people to understand. And so that, sometimes they think it's their imagination, and not necessarily, it's part of your imagination, but it's really real. It's real.
Yes, yes, it is. But because we don't speak that way and we don't even have a language to communicate this with, it's hard. Um, unless something, like dramatic happens, that you start to realize it. Or if you find someone, on the street, and you see the bracelet or whatever, and you go, "Oh my God, that's gorgeous! It's speaking to you."
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
guides is speaking to you. It's not by accident. And I could be standing next to somebody and have 50 bracelets on the table, and they won't look at all because it's not on their wavelength.
Ah, that makes sense. Yes. I've had a lot of people stop me when I wear them. I travel a lot for what I'm doing right now, and I have had so many women stop me and say, "Oh, those bracelets." I've had people, even when I'm doing my show, talk to me after, "Where did you get those? I need to know." So I
Yeah.
hope that they're connecting because I've given them your name many a times. So
And people
uh,
spend a lot of time on the website, I know, because there's so many, and each one does something a little different, which is where Adrian and I come in, that we can really decipher, well, who do you need first?
mhm,
Of course,
mhm,
you can choose your own. Um,
yes. But I
and
think that's powerful, and people can know that because if they want to buy a bracelet through you or they choose to, you can help them pick what's the best thing coming in first for them because you can psychically read that for them and your daughter Adrian too. Yeah,
Mhm.
so this is a powerful way to do. I know you did it for me when I came back then again when I finally found your name again because I couldn't find it for so long. I'm like, oh my goodness, how could I do that? And then I found you, and the universe knew I had to find you, so it found you for me. And then you told me what I needed to get next, and I thought that was so powerful and wonderful. So, oh my goodness, we're talking, and this has been such a fun. I mean, and we're still talking. There's so many things. So,
Yeah.
so your role right now, what do you see playing for you in the present reality? What do you feel that is going on for you that you need to be doing? Well, you told us a lot of what you're doing. What else is right now, like for this 2019, and what do you see happening?
There's a lot of very strong male energy coming through. Um, and that is because people are not listening.
Mm,
And that, this is the guides coming through. They're coming through with
mhm,
with a male energy, because we've had a lot of female guides. They're interested in a lot of other things, and this energy is very strong and very matter of fact. You don't have all the options that you had before. We need to move forward, and we need to be kind and be charitable, and know that each person matters, and that each person is our brother or our sister. And people are just a lot of times not being nice to one another
mm.
these days. Yeah.
And we forget that we're all one. When you really
Yeah.
think about it, we're all connected. It's all like you're saying, we have all the angels, we are all connecting. We can share archangels. I mean, how much else can you share? I mean, we share so much and we don't even realize that we do. Some
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
never knew I could share somebody's archangel. I never knew that we were connecting with people like
They,
that.
they don't have any limits. They
Right. There's
only
no
have
limits.
that we put on them. We put those limits on them,
Mhm.
but they are, have much more that they can do. And some people will say, well, why don't you just go to God? Well, God is busy, I'm yours. You know,
Say that again and you went a little out.
you have an assistant, and when I want to communicate to you, I might have to go through your assistant, and there's nothing wrong with that, because they have access to you, and there's just a whole lot of things going on. And of course, I'm have a very strong belief and love of God, as as I see him, her. um and but the archangels, they feel like they have qualities that I can hug and love and um, connect with, you know, uh, in a very friendly way. Like an aunt or an uncle or a grandma. Everybody has a different energy, and they're can be comforting or pushy, and bring you to the next level of what you have to do, or there's it's unlimited. When you want to do Reiki and you want to send energy to someone, you don't want to use your energy. They're here to assist you and send that energy. And you have to deal with things with a lot of integrity, or they don't really want to work with you.
Mm, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
in that capacity.
Hmm.
Not to say that they're going to say no to you, but if you want to do this professionally, yes, you have to have a certain level of integrity for them to keep working with you, or they stop talking to you, and that's a pretty scary thing when all of a sudden it's quiet
I
and they're
bet.
not speaking.
So I know you said when you do your bracelets, it's consistency, and then you are you're very disciplined also. You're disciplined, you're consistent, and you're in integrity. And this is how it's working, and you keep connecting and getting more and getting more. And that's what we can all do if we, and to be still is really your powerful message I got.
Yeah, be still. And the messages that are coming out now, um, are from Atlantis and Lemuria, but they're speaking in one voice, and it's a soft voice, as opposed to each individual giving you messages. Um, and having private conversations. This is more of a group conversation. And to be mindful is to be in the moment. Don't be in the past. Don't be in the future. Be in the moment. What do you need to do? What do you need to have in this moment? And they assist you with that. So it's kind of a group thing more than individual. Like, what's your issue that you need to get over?
So
Like,
we're past that. Are you saying we're past that, getting over these issues? Just stay in the moment now.
it's more group issues that they're working with rather than the individual issues.
Okay. Okay.
The individual issue for you to work on it. Like, for example, Archangel Ezekiel is about forgiveness. So maybe that's not your issue anymore, but yet he's one of the archangels of Atlantis. So he speaks with the group as well, but
Ah, I
more,
see.
more general.
Well, because you say, like they're saying that there's a lot of forgiveness that's needed in the world.
Yes, and individually, we might be mad at our mother, our father, you know, uh, I can't forgive him for doing that, and when you come to the end of your life, it really doesn't mean anything. So get over it sooner, because it really hurts you not forgiving somebody. That doesn't mean you have to hang with them or be with them or, invite them to dinner. It just means don't carry that upset with you because it hurts your energy level
Hmm.
away from you.
Yes, I believe that so much. I do agree with. I totally understand that. And okay, so that's so is that your message right now for 2019, that we just need, that we're going to have all this forgiveness coming through, and what else? Anything else particular for 2019, the rest of this year?
Um, there's so much there's so much, but it's about moving past the pettiness, uh,
Mm,
and moving past um, anger,
mm-hmm.
moving past being judgmental.
Mm,
You know, I think in order for us to ascend and having much more joy and much more laughter and much more ease in our life. And I
mm.
know it doesn't look that way to a lot of people, but that's why they're here now, to try to assist us with that. And of course, I have my personal issues with you know um, non-GMO food, and things like that. That of course, my guides show me that those things need to be worked on. Um,
Oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah.
you know issue with the bees and all of that stuff, but mainly, if you we each have something that eats us,
Mm,
or way we're not happy.
right. Right.
And it depends on how much you let that bother you. Maybe it's that you want a love relationship, or maybe it was that you didn't feel loved by your dad, or you can't get ahead in business, or something that you are carrying around that is weighing you down. It's like a weight,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know, pushing you under the water. I know that I made a bracelet, and it's called "I Am His Beloved," and I made that bracelet, and it's all purple, and like an amethyst color.
Mm,
Um, I couldn't get the message, because if I don't resonate with the message, if I haven't learned that message, I can't get it.
okay.
And so, but I keep asking, like, you had me make this, now give me the lesson so that I can um, move on with it, because I can't put it out to the world until I receive it.
Okay.
So one of my customers called me up, and she said, "Well, I have white Tara and I want a purple bracelet." And I said, "Well, I have a purple bracelet, but I don't know what it is." And she said, "Well, I need my purple bracelet." She kept saying that to me. And what or not, Adrian? And I said to her, "I don't know what this purple bracelet is." And she laughed, because when I make a new bracelet, I give it to, Adrian or Marcy or someone else that, I'm close with. And I say, "What do you think it is? What is it? What is it?" Because I may not get it all.
Hmm. Hmm.
It take me like 3 weeks to wear it to know what is it talking about. And so um, that bracelet, she said, "Give me my beloved bracelet." And I told Marcy, my daughter, and she takes out her notebook. At that time, she was a school teacher. And she takes out her notebook, because she writes everything down. And she said, "I am his beloved," which means that God is saying to you, "In you I am well pleased. You don't have to do anything.
Ah,
You are fine just the way you are."
wow.
And when I got that and I took it into my heart and my soul, I was so happy. It was like the yoke was off. I didn't have to try to please my mother, my father, my husband, my children, people that I met, my neighbors. Nobody. God already said, "I'm okay." And
Mm,
so freeing. So every bracelet has a message, and it seems to be that it's with the collective consciousness. Like the last bracelet that I just put out was called uh, what is it? Self-care.
oh, that's
And
a big
my
one.
God, the response I got was just overwhelming.
Mm,
um and that even when we do things that seem nice, like, "Oh, let's go for a facial, or let's have our nails done, or a pedicure," it's become automatic and not um, a time to release and relax. We're just fitting it in and squeezing it in, so it no longer is really self-care.
oh, wow. How interesting.
Mm.
I
And
never
so
thought of that.
the response to this, and of course it's what I'm being told. I'm not, they tell me, my guides tell me, "Make this," and and it should look like this, and it should be this color, and okay. I don't even think I'm really creative, because I'm being told what to do. So um, the phone started ringing, the computer starts going off, people are ordering it. I'm like, "Oh my God, I guess, well, I don't know, I shouldn't be so shocked. They were right. This is what people need. They need to start enjoying themselves, taking time for themselves, relaxing." So for me, I started to dance in the morning. So I wrote to my people, and I had said, like, "I love a hot cup of coffee in the morning, but the way my day goes is I walk over to the coffee machine, put the coffee up, then I, empty the dishwasher, load the dishwasher, put a load of wash in, hang up anything that needs to be put away. Then the dog needs to eat. Oh, now the dog needs to go out. My coffee's not hot anymore."
Right.
So that's self-care of sitting down for 5 minutes,
Mhm.
having that hot cup of coffee and enjoying it while it's piping hot. I wasn't letting myself do that. And it sounds like a little thing, but it's all those little things that take away um, your joy.
Mhm.
And so I started to dance on the way, put on nice music and dance on the way to make the coffee.
That's great. That's
And
fun.
yeah, yeah. So it's those little things of, yes, now I am doing more for my self care, which is, really making time for yourself, not as an obligation, but as a treat,
Mm.
you know,
Yes.
and
Yes.
because
That yeah.
us we're just go, 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 go. And, there's not much left for us, you know?
Yeah. And yep, that's a beautiful thing to tell people because I know if I do things for myself, like certain things I do, it's like just I'm doing that. It's understood, and it is sort of. I do still think of it as sort of a treat, but yet I'm used to it now. So you know,
Exactly.
I've got to like the things that are new now that I'm saying. Oh, I'm going to treat myself, and when I say that, this is a treat now. This is a treat because now I am saying I'm taking this special moment for myself which normally I never wouldn't have done. I'm doing it for everyone else. And now I actually have a little more time to do it for me. So I'm going to do it for me. Wow, it's a big shift.
It's
And
different. And when you do it for yourself, as I said earlier, then we have more to give.
yeah.
We're not giving from an empty well.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think, I think everybody is in that same rush, and I got to do this, I got to do that. And I look at my children and my grandchildren, and they're all in sports, and it's drive here, drive there. It's
Mhm.
not much time left for us to do what we want to do, even if it's setting aside 15.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting? What's that?
Is that our time?
Well, we're not totally done. We're going to finish up a little. Is that okay?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
What just came to mind when you talked about this story of doing something for yourself, I remember putting on like I like to put on lotion because my skin gets dry. So I went to a party and I had this lotion. And this woman says, "Oh my goodness, you smell so good and your skin is so pretty." And I said, "Yeah, I just put on, lotion." And she's like, "Oh, I don't have time for that." And I'm like, that is just a simple thing. It takes you an extra 5 minutes before you leave your shower room, you walk out the door, and she won't give it to herself.
Yes. And I have met people, and when I'm teaching a class, and I'll say, um, what what if I could grant you 5, 10 minutes, what would you do with that 5 or 10 minutes? And a lot of times they can't think of an answer,
Mm,
because it's not something they allow themselves to have, and then sometimes, and I know when I was in this, rushing and crazy, it was like, oh, well, I'll get a donut with that cup of coffee.
yeah, yeah, right.
Something that's really not so good for me, but I'm using that as a treat, and then shoving it down my throat is not really a good thing to do. But
Yeah,
something, special and happy, and makes you feel alive, and ready to, and full of gratitude. You know, um,
absolutely.
a
That's
lot of
the key.
they
Yeah.
look at bracelets, and they fiddle with them, and that's their time, because they're communicating, or being with that energy, and they can, a lot of people can feel the energy of the different beings, and
Mm.
some are very loving energy, and some are funny. You
I
know,
love that. Yeah, I
you
love that.
have Lug.
I
You
do. I have a Luke. I always call him the hero, but I never because when Dorinda told me I was getting a knee replacement, so I gave this to myself as that I was going to be the hero because I felt like a hero. I'm like, no way, I'm too young for this, but I had to have it. Even though I've been exercising my whole life, I did it anyway. And I bought myself the hero. I'm like, all right, I feel like a hero because I have to do this as much as I don't want to. I'm doing it anyway because I want to be able to be healthy and walk and do everything I need to do.
and he just is, it's just such a nice energy to have, and he likes, he's very good negotiator.
Ah.
If you're buying a car or, you know, or if you have to negotiate anything,
Oh, I
he's
love that. I
good.
didn't realize that about him, but I do know when I need to wear him. I just put him on. I'm like, okay, it's you today. And I'll put him on. I just look at them and go, all right, who needs to come with me today? And then I pick, boom, 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 they come out.
Yeah, and then it's like your friend is with you, your companion
Mm,
with you, you know.
yes.
So that's a wonderful thing, and I know you don't need a bracelet to connect with these beings.
No, you don't. No.
This makes it easier because um, the properties of crystal amplifies the communication so that you can start to hear them, feel them, and see them. But I don't want anybody to think that you can't get that kind of communication, if you're not wearing a bracelet. It's
Right.
just that it's easier, you
Sure.
know. And for me, like, I wasn't wearing my Archangel Michael bracelet, and my husband and I got into a car accident. But my husband was we were stopped at a light, and it was a Sunday night, 6 o'clock. We were going out to eat, and I could see out of my husband's corner of his eye that something was wrong, and I called Archangel Michael immediately. And the more often you ask for these guides to be with you, the quicker the response is. And
Mm.
we got by a drunk driver going 85 miles an hour, and I called the paramedics, and it just so happened that there were paramedics right across the street at Dunkin' Donuts, and they came,
Wow.
and we were not bloody. We were not hurt. We didn't have to take an aspirin, and they couldn't believe how we stepped out of the car because I had a truck, and the truck was half gone.
Wow.
Yeah, and they took this guy to jail. It wasn't his first time, unfortunately, but uh, we continued to go out to eat at Archangel Michael. So, if you start to, if you even, well, there's information on my website. If you start to look at and see the description of these beings, you can start to ask for who you want.
Mm.
Start a communication. Start talking to them. And I just want to give a little difference to when you work with an archangel, they're here for the bigger purpose in your life. Why are you here? Why
Mhm.
were you born? Why did you decide to come here? It's your bigger mission. And
Okay.
work with the God energy, they're here for your daily, what's going on a daily basis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they work on different issues. And
Wow.
we need both. We need both.
Yes.
Have them all. You have them. They're in your energy field. You have them, and just enjoy them, and don't and especially your guardian angel. Don't let them be bored because they're not going away. They're not going to anybody else. When you start your car, say guardian angel. You know, thank you for being with me, and please guide my trip with safety.
Mm.
Whatever words fit for you.
Mhm.
um,
Yeah, I love that. It's
and
beautiful.
you know and you will feel warm, and you'll feel their love, and you'll feel like you have some additional guidance besides your GPS.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so true. I
Uh-huh.
totally agree with that. I really do. I feel that a lot when I call them in. I do. I don't always call them in by name, but I call my beings of light who are here for me. And so I don't know if that's enough, but I guess I'll have to start naming them, huh?
Just do what feels right to you. If
Mhm.
if if you feel like knowing their name, that's great. If you don't, they're okay. They're not,
Right. They don't care. Yeah.
they don't have a judgment about what you do. Like, you're discovering a cure for cancer, or you bring delivering oil to people's houses. There's no difference to them. Every single person is important and plays a part in the puzzle of our lives and of the world. So there's no judgment
Mm.
at
It's
all.
beautiful. Oh,
Uh,
wow. We're getting long now. We've gone about an hour. So I want to thank you so much. And I know you have a beautiful gift to share with the audience. Would you like to tell them a little about it?
yes, yes. If you go to my website and you want to order a bracelet, um, y- you will get 10% off, 10% off whatever purchases. So if you're listening, and you already are a customer and you know the bracelets and you know which ones you like, you know that I don't do sales very often. So take advantage of the 10% off. Um,
Thank you.
and so it's not limited, and there is a date that it's good to, I think, the end of October.
Okay.
And you have to give us a call, I think, because you won't be able to do that, order online.
Oh, okay. So you have to call you direct. The
Yeah.
show will go through till November. So you might want to extend it through November a little because you won't be on till November yourselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because
It,
the show actually launches October 21st. So you'll be on, yeah, I would say
okay.
no, if you don't, they won't even know till October 21st. And
Okay. We'll do that.
you will not be airing till at least 12, you're to be number 23, 22 or 23. So you're going to be 23 days after that.
Okay.
So, and then we have a replay. So if you want to make, it's like a Christmas present, Hanukkah present, whatever they want to have it for. It's a holiday sort of time. So it's up to
Okay.
you how long, but you could, you might want to look at that a little
Yeah.
just to give them a little
I
chance to.
thought it was. I don't know why I thought it was October 21st.
Well, it is the date of the launch, but each day is
I
a
that day.
specific expert. That's okay. It's a new experience. So it's a new experience. I just
Yeah.
want to be clear for
We'll,
the
we'll
audience.
take it through whenever it's running for you.
Okay, I'll make sure I'll give you the dates exactly so you know, and that you can keep it open for all of you listening, that you will have that opportunity for Christmas or whatever the holidays, your Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating over the holiday season. And
It's gonna
I
be
want,
here before we know it. I don't
it
know.
is, it's right around the corner. Oh my goodness. And I want to thank all of our audience for listening. They are so wonderful. You're always tuning in. We love you to give us any feedback. And the show today was absolutely extraordinary. And thank you for all the shares that you've given us, Shareane. And just anyone, I've answered all your emails personally. The first season, this is our second season of Own Your Divine Light. So it's exciting to have wonderful people like Shareane here. And so we love, and I will get back to you if you do email us. And thank you, Shareane, again, for being such a needed and powerful conduit for source and for sharing your unique and celestial gifts. And they truly are celestial gifts. And you are unlocking people's passions, igniting their authenticities, and finally helping them create the lives they love. So I am Janet Miller, and thank you all. We'll see you in the next episode.